The conclave to choose the next pope begins over in Rome on Wednesday local time. Who's likely to succeed Pope Francis? We are joined by Father James Bretzke. Thank you so much for joining us, Father.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
So the coming conclave is expected to be the largest in history of the Catholic Church. As we all know, 133 cardinals coming from 70 countries set to gather in the Sistine Chapel. Why the record number of cardinals this time?
Well, the number of cardinals has grown over the years. Pope Paul VI, who died in 1978, had established a kind of a quota, a top limit of 120, but every pope since then went beyond it when he was naming new cardinals. Usually the cardinals will then age out at 80, and we haven't had a conclave over 120 until this one, and we're going to have 133.
Well, what's interesting about this whole conclave is that a new pope gets to choose a new name. Why the new name?
Well, the new name is kind of initial. It indicates a break from maybe his past, and it indicates a little spin control over what he wants to do in the future. Sometimes it will honor someone that was important in his life or a favorite saint. And in the more distant past, you used to have the custom of taking the name of the pope that made you a cardinal.
So I have to ask, are any names off limits? I'm sure they can't be too creative with that, right?
Yes. Oh, so one name that by custom would be off limits would be the name of Peter, because he was the first pope. And the idea of taking that name would be a lot of hubris. Other names, if you just think of problematic names. Like, I don't think we'll have a pope taking the name of Martin because of Lutheranism, Martin Luther. That would seem to be, a bit dicey. And certainly you wouldn't take a notorious name like, you're not going to find a Pope Adolf.
Right.
But you could have any number of other names.
So you really can't tell what the new pope's new name is going to be, right?
Well, you can't tell. The betters will say possibilities would be John Paul III, Benedict XVII, those are two previous ones. Possibly a Pope Francis II, although I doubt that. Or maybe someone like John the 24th, because when I was a little kid, John the 23rd was a surprise candidate. He was very much loved. And so maybe you want to reclaim that kind of charisma, and you would name yourself John the 24th.
Well, what kind of pope and leadership then do you think, Father, the world is in need of at the moment?
Well, I think what the world needs is an improbable, if not an impossible pope. So you want someone that has charisma. So if you think of, for example, in Korea, you think of the late Cardinal Stephen Kim Soo-won. He was a man who was a great leader, very charismatic. If you could have a world leader like Kim Soo-won, that would be awesome. Then you want someone that's pastoral. You want someone that can be a good administrator. You want someone that knows how to run the Vatican bureaucracy. And you want someone that speaks clearly on doctrinal matters, but also sympathetically. And that's going to be very hard to roll all of those characteristics into any living human being.
Well, I'm sure we have one out of the 133 cardinals to be the next pope. Father, then I know even the cardinals don't know who is going to be the next pope, but who will be the next pope? Who are the top candidates?
So if you go on the news and you find, you get this news service or that news service, top 10 people, there will be some overlap among those, and then there will be different ones. So the overlap, the ones that are on most lists would be the current Secretary of State, Cardinal Parolin, who is Italian. Others are Cardinal Pizzaballa, who is Italian, but is the Archbishop of Jerusalem. Cardinal Zuppi, who is the Archbishop of Bologna. Those are on pretty much every list. Then we also have on many lists Cardinal Chito Tagle from the Philippines. So he would be the first Asian Pope. And then maybe a couple of Africans are on the list and a couple of Europeans. A sort of center-right candidate would be Cardinal Peter Erdo from Hungary.
Well, it took 2 days to elect Pope Francis back in 2013. Let's see how long it takes this time. Thank you, Father, so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.